Hello everybody, welcome back to another episode of Planescape Torment. As always, I am the Great Genie and I am excited to get back to it. When we last left off, we had an interesting conversation with somebody named Dayanara, I believe that's how you pronounce it, who was the first person that we had traveled with in one of our past lives. We had previously met somebody that we had spoken to before, but she was the first person that has journeyed with us that has been laid to rest here. And we got quite a few mixed signals from her. She repeatedly told us that she loved us. I got the sense that we probably did not share those feelings, and yet we may have manipulated her and caused some kind of great harm to her that we have no idea what it is, no clue what happened between us. That's just all I could get from our conversation. She has some combination of bitterness, but also some great fondness for us that still has lasted throughout. So I'm interested to see how it goes from here, but she told us some very interesting things. That she prophesized that we would meet 3 enemies that are shades of evil, good, and neutrality, where we would essentially be asked to make a terrible sacrifice that destroys what keeps us alive so that we are immortal no longer. So that's essentially something interesting that I am curious to see whether or not how accurate that is, whether or not it is true. I imagine it probably will be. But it seems to me that the curse, as she put it, that keeps us alive is difficult to remove. I feel like we would have done so a long time ago if it was easy. So let's go ahead and see. It does seem... Last time we also aggroed the entire mortuary. It does seem that that has reset with our first death, in which we reawakened back at the mortuary. We first spawned in at the very beginning. Oh no, no, please don't come over here. This is how it all ended. And I don't want to get off on the wrong foot. Are you lost? Yes. All right, I'm not gonna make the same mistake that I made last time. We're gonna kill him. Okay, no. All right, awesome. Never mind. I don't ask for a lot. I'm trying to be a good person here. I'm trying not to be an asshole. And yet, I am asked time and time again to kill everybody I see. Even against my own wishes. All the while, I'm trying to look for that zombie in which we, in one of our past lives, hid some kind of object inside, some kind of earring, I believe it was. Can't seem to find it. Maybe I would have better luck if we could actually converse with them and figure out which zombie was the number that we're looking for. Alas, I don't think we're going to be able to, because we keep making a mess of things as we try to leave. Okay, yeah, we've been up here before. They did say that the portal was on the first floor, and the first floor doesn't seem to have been a large area. The great skeletons, if we get anywhere near, will kill us, so I am not going to even try. That does seem to be a portal. I say we take our chances because I don't feel good about staying here. That didn't seem ominous at all, because that was exactly where we first spawned into the game. Bunch of old kind of phantom-like figures crowding around. I don't like the look of it. But here's a note. Vaxis was somebody that we helped previously. He looked like a zombie. We helped him out earlier. Vaxis, if you are reading this and you have undoubtedly failed in your task and have been forced to use the escape route I arranged, I told you that your little disguise idea was ridiculous. In any case, you'll need to lay low for a while. The dustmen may be deluded, but they are not fools, and they will certainly seek retribution for our intrusion. I've left you some coins. Use them to secure a hiding place in the hive, preferably in Rag Picker's Square. The dustmen will be unwilling to look for you there. Once you have secured a new hiding place, I have a new mission for you. Find out where Farad is getting those bodies he's delivering to the mortuary. It's apparently causing the dustmen a great deal of upset, and I wouldn't mind knowing myself. Reports are that the stone-faced dustman at the Gathering Dust Bar, Initiate Emmerich, I think the fool's name is, has been sending out finders to try and mark Farad's movements. See if you can find out how far along he is and hinder his efforts until we know more about Farad's activities. I don't want Emmerich finding out something before we do. Pen. So, one of our missions here is to find this Farad. We need to find out where this journal that we have kept on is, and our biggest lead is from Farad. Brazier has long since run dry of oil. Sarcophagus appears maybe for centuries. There's no lid. So ultimately, we need to get out of this room. Where the hell's the exit? Let's take the note with this. Am I crazy? Okay, no, I had my weapon put up. Mortuary gate. Escaped the mortuary. All right. So this is the town of Sigil, as was told to us in the mortuary. And, yeah, I guess this is where we'll have to start looking. All right, so I just tried to see if we had a map. Now we can look and basically see where anything is. Our world map here looks to show us. I love that it's stitched seemingly onto us. The hive was also mentioned in the mortuary. It seems to be a district in Sigil, a big district. Ragpicker's Square was mentioned in that note that we just picked up, but what I think we should do is pretty clear. We should find Initiate Emmerich because he is going to be the best lead that we have to find Farad at the Gathering Dust Bar. So let's start looking around. Do you have anything to say?
What's up?
More?
Yeah.
Yeah?
Good as done.
No? That's right. We have to do this first.
Hey, what's eating you, Chief?
Can you tell me a little bit about Sigil? Sigil's a ring-shaped city that's squatting on top of an infinitely tall spire and what some claim to be in the center of the plains. Of course, how it could be at the top of an infinitely tall spire and how the city could even be at the center of the plains raises some questions. It certainly does. So we're incredibly high up in the air and also at the direct center of the plains, so to speak, whatever that means. I'm sure we'll find out more. Sigil's called the City of Doors, mostly because there's a lot of invisible doors that lead in and out of it. Just about any arch, door frame, barrel hoop, bookshelf, or open window might be a portal under the right conditions. It all depends on if you have the key to open it. So we do know we just exited the mortuary through a portal, seemingly one of many portals in this City of Doors. There could be anywhere, as long as we have the key, which we do have for that one portal. See, I guess the best way to explain it is, most portals are sleeping, right? You could walk through them, by them, on top of them, and nothing would happen. Now, every portal has something that wakes it up. That could be a tune you hum to yourself, a loaf of week-old Batopian bread, something remembering what your first kiss was like, and then BAM! The portal gets its juices flowing, and you can jump through it to whatever's on the other side. Well, like where? Anywhere, Chief. Literally, any place you can think of, there's a portal there. That's why Sigil's so popular across the plains. So, apparently, a key is not necessarily a material object. It could be as minute as a memory, as thinking about a specific memory, but remembering what your first kiss was like, I wonder if it is like, if it is a memory, is it specific to the person, or is it a generic, oh, remember this topic, because I feel like that could be messy very quickly depending on what kind of memory you're supposed to remember. But that's neither here nor there at the moment. How did you die, Mort? No idea, Chief. I kind of forgot when I died. Can't say I blame myself much. At least there was something waiting for me after I died, even if it is life as a floating skull. I mean, it could have been worse. What happened to your body? I don't know, alright? It's just gone. Mort glares at you. But don't think I miss it, because I'm happy just the way I am, and I don't need your half-wit judgments or snide remarks, alright? Even though he very clearly was thinking about taking somebody's body in the mortuary. We're not going to talk about that. Is there anything else you can do except chatter? Hey, chattering's my best trait. He rattles his teeth for a moment, then grins. That's good to hear. No, but seriously, Chief, I got a knack for chattering in just the right way. I can really bend an ear, if you know what I'm saying. I got insults, back talk, stuff that'll curl someone's ears into the skull, you know? Yeah. Being so annoying that you start to cause physical deformities. That's a really good trait to have. It's one of my many talents. I call it my litany of curses. You see, sometimes I can really bend someone's ear with just the right comment. Of course, and I'd usually have to do a lot of running afterwards, but you get the idea. Okay, I'll bite. How does it work?
Updated my journal.
Well, I can spit insults at someone until they get mad enough to chase me around. Okay, so basically, we piss somebody off, and then they run around and chase them. Has an ability called Litany of Curses. It is a non-magical taunt. If the target fails to resist it, they suffer a penalty, attacks, and will do nothing but try to engage Mort in melee combat. The more insults he hears, the better it becomes. It is very effective against mages. That might be useful when we run into a mage. Well, what do you think we should do next? Well, here's how I see things. I think you should try and root out this Farad wherever he's set up camp. You wouldn't have had those directions tattooed on your back if you didn't have some inkling of what was up with you. One of the locals around here has to know where he is. Yeah, well, that's what I thought. Bunch of hive dwellers and a thug over in the corner. Let's just try talking to people. Let's get some info. I hates it here. Wish I had enough jink to leave the hive for good. Take me advice, Cutter, and get out when and if you can. So I imagine these are just kind of generic NPCs. Lady, strike me blind. I've seen you before, Cutter, but I never thought I'd see you again. Sigil's smaller than you think, so I suppose you know me? She smiles nervously. Know you? Nay, but like I said, I've seen you. 'Twas last year, late at night, late at night near Anti-Peak. Looking for me sister I was, when you came tearing past like mad. Stumbled and dropped this you did, right at my feet afore running off. I kept it for good luck, seeing as how fate saw fit to drop it right in front of me here. She holds up a wicked-looking dagger. Here, seeing as I've run into you again, takes it back, Cutter. So we were running around with a dagger? Okay, I'm not gonna ask any questions. Hey, a dustman, friend. See a somber, pale-faced... Why am I talking to this woman? In black robes. She is staring into the distance and doesn't appear to notice you. Greetings. She turns slowly to face you. Yes, I had some questions. She folds her arms into her robes and waits. Do you know somebody named Farad?
Updated my journal.
Farad is a collector. The woman studies you for a moment. If you wish to know more of him, I am told that Initiate Emmerich in the Gathering Dust Bar also seeks him. It may be best that he can help you. Well, that's what we know already. Where is the bar, though? As one leave the mortuary front gate, head south and west. It lies past the memorial. All right, well, I'm looking for a lost journal. Have you seen one? She shakes her head. All right. Okay, so we actually learned something pretty useful. Hello? So, yeah, south and west. If we look at our map, maybe it's, like, literally in that area. I wonder, because, like, I don't want to spend time talking to everybody, but it seems like they might all have different things to say. Revealing a wicked dagger. Well, I just got a dagger, but I'm not gonna try to. Okay, listen, I didn't even try to fight you. God, everybody is trigger happy in this game. I just want to live my life without fear or where the fuck? What are you doing over there? Get over here.
Sure, why not?
I'm hurt.
I am dying and you are not helping. Well, let's apply some bandages maybe. All right, so these.
I'm hurt.
Why is attacking somebody with a human arm not doing as much damage as I would like? I don't even know where Mort ran off to. This is a mess.
See that?
Oh, he took care of it. Thanks. All right, if we're gonna do this, get over here. Oh, he left. Okay. This is a disaster. All right, let's. I just want everything to be all right. Okay, okay, everything's fine. You didn't see anything, harlot. You see a tired-looking woman dressed in a light, tight leather bodice and leggings. The odor of cheap perfume surrounds her like a cloud, and her face is covered with a mask of crude makeup. She smiles as she sees you. Why don't you stay and chat with me for a bit, love? Sure, as long as this doesn't end with me clubbing you with an arm. I'm happy to talk with you. The woman looks coyly at you. Now, you look to be a blood who's lost something. Mayhap I can help you find it, Cutter? Okay, yeah, okay, I need a journal. What good fortune. We probably lost what we were looking for back at your kit, miss. Okay, I see what game he's playing here. Maybe you can help me find what I'm missing, miss. Her tone becomes businesslike. Aye, love. Now there's the matter of a finder's fee. Well, I don't want to pay anybody to find what I'm looking for. I'm not a tout. She frowns and rubs two fingers together. Unless you got some jink to pay for my time. No. No. Chief, can you sport me some jink? It's been a long time. It has. Here's the thing. You are a disembodied head. No flesh. A skull. I am trying to think about how exactly you would accomplish whatever it is you're looking to accomplish, and it is going to keep me up at night. The woman breaks in. It's twice the cost for the Mimir, or any other degenerate. Mimir's a talking encyclopedia. That's me, Chief. Well, from the looks of her, I'm... no, I don't want to say that. I don't want to get anybody angry. Everybody's gonna be mad at me. Hello? You look to have a name in the post. Who are you?
Take off.
Okay. You see a striking red-haired girl dressed in leather armor. Her right arm is covered with a series of interlocking plates that looks as if it was taken from the skin of an odd creature. I love this music. And a horn shoulder piece protects her left arm. Oddly enough, she has a tail that is flicking back and forth as you watch. Pike off. The girl ignores you. I'm looking for someone named Farah. Do you know where I can find him? Aye, I might say more if you sweeten the question, eh? She clicks her tongue and rubs two fingers together. Jink jink, aye? Jink jink. She means money. Oh. Aye. She glances at Mort and shrugs. What the skull said. Hard coin. Alright, how much? You have a name, I'm willing to pay you. How much is it to know? How much is it? Ugh, how much is it to you to know, eh? She studies you, then folds her arms. Come on, I haven't got all day, I haven't. Alright, well this is what I poured all those points in. How about 10? If your information's good enough, it could be more. Aye, alright then. She pockets the money. It's gone so quickly you have no idea where it vanished to. Look for him in the alley, spireward from the mortuary. That's to the south and west of the mortuary, eh? Alright, so south and west is kind of already what we knew, but the alley specifically is where we should be going. Can you tell me where I am? You're lost, but you're about to find trouble. Make yourself lost somewhere else, bubber. Okay, well. I'm missing a journal. Have you seen one? She looks at you strangely. Nay, I've seen nothing like that, I haven't. Alright. Well, I can't help but notice that you have a tail. Do I now? The girl looks at her tail. So I do. And here I was thinking that it was a trick of me. My, aren't you a sharp cutter? She bares her teeth. Why don't you piss off to whatever hole you crawled out of and leave me be? Me nor me tail is for trade, Jig. All right, I was just curious. It's just as well neither you nor your tail are for sale. You couldn't squeak out a living with him anyway. All right, listen, let's not anger the nice lady who we paid for information. What are you about, you blighter? Say it again. Didn't say anything, but I'm still curious. Why do you have a tail? Probably a bad idea. He said you couldn't make a living. He said, I disagree, or I agree. He said, and I disagree, that you couldn't make a living selling yourself. What's all this now? You be playing stern hardhead, friendly hardhead with me? Good cop, bad cop. She sneers. Pike off, you lecherous filth. Okay. I'll go ahead. Farewell. Yeah, I'll see you later.
Seen something so ugly I've not.
Hey! Whoa! All right, look. I'm just a little guy. I'm just trying to make it in this life. Oy, hello, post. This filthy-looking corpse is in sad shape. Its shoulders are slumped, and one of its legs is broken, causing it to lean to one side. Stains cover it from head to toe. Judging from the smell and the texture, the stains run from rotten fruit to mud and bird droppings. To add to the indignity, graffiti has been carved into its body, and several notices have been nailed into its chest, back, and head. So, I'm starting to imagine why it's called the Post. Interesting that a corpse is just walking about. I guess this is just a commonly accepted thing in Sigil. Don't all those nails hurt? The corpse makes no response. Yeah, go figure. What about the graffiti and the notices? A number of the leaflets have been ruined by rain, but some of them are still legible. One tacked to his back is from something called the Office of Vermin and Disease Control. The one on his forehead looks like a bill of fare for a restaurant. One on his chest looks like an official notice, and another appears to be a sort of want ad. Well, let's look at the graffiti first. Runs from obscenities about the dustman to slogans glorifying what appear to be local gangs. One piece of graffiti catches your eye. Someone has carved the name Farid on the corpse's left arm and slashed an X across it. Okay. Very popular guy, it appears. Office of Vermin and Disease Control. To those hive citizens wishing gainful employ with the most honorable and generous Sigil government. Somebody has an issue with grammar and spelling. And probably more issues, but inquire forthwith at Office of Vermin and Disease Control to help stem plague of brain rats. Bounties paid. Copper given for each rat tail brought. Tails must be genuine and from rat only. No cat, dog, or fiend tail accepted. Office several streets south and west of Mortuary Gate and Lower Hive. Ask for official inspector in charge, that respected Phineas T. Lort XXXIX, which is a Roman numeral that I could not bother telling you what it is at the moment. Examine the bill of fare. Someone has posted a bill of fare for the Gathering Dust bar, but the bill of fare cannot be read as the words Smoldering Corpse Bar has been scrawled in charcoal. Smoldering Corpse Bar. Zombie immediately jerks its left arm upwards and points far to the southeast. A moment later, the arm falls back to its side of the thumb. So it could be a literal different bar rather than besmirching the good name of the Gathering Dust bar. Reminds me of a job I once had. He seems embarrassed. Well, I mean, without the arms. I wonder if this would work with the other notices. Okay, interesting. So let's see if we can... Office of Vermin and Disease Control. Left arm upwards and points to the southwest. Well, I guess we didn't really need to do this with this particular notice, but good to know. Public notice. By the order of the Judiciary Council and in accordance with the citizenry of Sigil, let it be known those defacing a registered servant of the Dustmen, either by graffiti, malicious attack, or by posting notices, will constitute felonious assault, and the perpetrator will be answerable for the vandalism of said servant by the order of the Hall of Speakers. So, don't vandalize these dead people, or you are going to be beaten repeatedly. Though that does beg the question, this corpse seems to be programmed into answering our questions about where these buildings are. Is this its job? Is nailing the post into the post? Is that just a part of its job? Is it the graffiti that's excessive? I have a lot of questions about how this world works, and I am not going to get answers, I'm sure. What's the wanted? Wanted, able-bodied person willing to investigate a matter of the utmost importance of the Dustmen cause, will offer suitable compensation upon successful completion of said task. Interested parties inquire with Initiate Noroch. Yep, that's how you pronounce it. Gathering Dust Bar, which we know is to the southwest. Okay, just to the west. Don't I look a fool? Is this the Gathering Dust Bar? Well, I don't know who you are. Let's talk to you first. You see a heavy-set man with sharp features and a pained expression. Despite his huge frame, however, he has an effeminate look about him, and unlike the other residents you've seen, he looks to have bathed recently. As you approach, he looks up hopefully and calls out in a high voice, "Craddock, good sir?" "What?" His hopeful expression dies as he studies your face. "1,000 apologies, good sir, if I have given offense." He gives a slight bow. "I am called Bane the Sender, third child of Dai Bane the Sender. I am one of the many runners in the employ of the House of Senders." "Okay, you're right. What do you want?" "1,000 apologies for troubling you with such a trivial matter, but I seek Craddock, an overseer in the hive." Bane looks like he is in pain. "But alas, he eludes me." He looks at you hopefully again. "Could it be that you have heard of such a man?" "No." Bane gives a deep sigh. "I'm bound to deliver a message to him, and as yet fortune has chosen not to favor me." "Well, I could deliver your message for a price." Bane's face lights up like a lantern. "Of course, good sir. If you can find this Craddock and pass along the message, I shall pay you for your troubles." "All right, who's the message? Or what's the message?" Bane recites the message almost like a mantra. "The shipment must be incursed by the 3rd day, or there will be a penalty." Bane frowns. "I am told that Craddock will know of the shipment to which the message pertains." "All right, I'll pass along the message. Is there anything you would tell me about him before I go that might help me find him?" "He is said to be a giant of a man, stern of features, that he is an overseer in one of the hive marketplaces. Alas, I know little else than that, good sir." "Okay." Now, I noticed that nothing has been in our journal, so this might be something that we have to remember, that the shipment must be incursed by the 3rd day. "Be so kind as to return and tell me of it. I will see to it your efforts are rewarded."
Updated my journal.
Okay, it did update after all. Oh, it's an official quest, is it? Interestingly enough, it does not say what the message is, so I imagine we may still have to remember what it is. Gathering Dust Bar. Let's take a look. We're already here.
Chief,
Might as well look.
What are we doing in here?
Hey,
Let's say we just give this place the laugh, all right? What?
Mort. I know why I'm in here. Well, interestingly enough, we have another topic of conversation. Mimir's a floating encyclopedia. You put information in, you get information out. That's it. Okay, sure. Okay, well, there's Noroch. Awaiting death. Aren't we all? Well, let's work our way around. I'm sure we'll find who we're looking for, but I am curious to see what awaiting death has to say. What's your deal? Before you is a young dustman with stubble on his chin and dark circles beneath his eyes. He is staring at the wall with a somber expression. "Greetings!" The dustman doesn't look up. He stares straight ahead as if he is seeing something several leagues beyond the walls of the bar. "Can I ask you some questions?" He doesn't respond. He keeps staring into the distance. "Alrighty then." Mort hisses at you. "Let's go, Chief. This dusty might as well be fertilizer." "Alright, let's get out of here." As you turn to leave, the dustman suddenly speaks, his voice barely a murmur. You have to strain to hear the words. You think he said something about wanting to die. That sounds so unlike you. What did you say? The boy's expression does not flicker. "Do you want to die?" No, do you? Yes, you do. I think it's really interesting that we can outright tell the truth like, there is no difference between the dialogue options of truth and lie. Yes, do you? But it matters because we are establishing what our intent is as a character, and I think that is very fascinating. But as of yet, I still want to investigate the city, learn a little bit more about me, what happened, who I am, and what my future pertains. So honestly, at this moment, I don't really know. Do you want to die? Yes. Well, why do you want to die? This existence is a mockery of life. I do not wish to continue the charade any longer. His face wrinkles in disgust. Why would anyone wish to remain in this foul city in the center of a multiverse that feeds on pain and hatred? Death is silent, comforting. Yeah, it's a bleak outlook. There's a lot more to life than pain and hatred. This is living? He bares his teeth and his hands clench. This existence is a mockery of life. I do not wish to continue the charade any longer. Death is silent, comforting. Yeah, maybe after the first death. The dustman blinks, then sneers. The first death? What, were you resurrected? Would you like to see? What do you mean? He looks like he wants to turn away, but he cannot. You can't seriously. Take your hands. Twist your neck. Well, I guess I don't know what I expected, but let's show this man that wants death that, hey, it isn't all it's cracked up to be. Your vision slowly returns. Your death felt different this time. You see a waiting hand standing before you. He looks horrified and fascinated. He has propped you into a chair and is looking apprehensively at the other bar patrons. They don't appear to have noticed or have mistaken you for a drunk. Convinced now? Are you the Walking Dead? I don't know. Then what are you? I don't know. But I die and am reborn. Yet, you still think? You still feel? Yes, but there's a hollowness. Something is missing, and it eats at you. Never leaves you at peace. To be dead and still think and feel? Will misery never leave a body be? The thought seems to horrify him. Even death has no release. Well, in fairness, I don't think that this happens to everybody, and I fear that I am giving you the wrong impression of what death means. But, in fairness, I have no idea what made me this way. You have no idea if the same could happen to you. So maybe you should not be so quick to abandon this life before knowing what the next holds for you. The boy falls silent, thinking. Eventually, he turns back up to you. Your words carry weight, sir, and a fresh perspective. I will do as you have said. That is all I ask. Live, grow old, and learn.
Looks like my skills
Farewell.
have increased.
What an interesting conversation that was. And we now, theoretically, if I can remember how to do this, can level up more. Alright, saving those, finding skills, 10 hit points gained, 2 hit points gained from Constitution bonus. Doesn't look like we have additional points that we can add. Oh. Interesting that we have a big old biography about Mort that I did not notice until now, but might as well read it. Of course, you got questions about me. You probably have questions about all sorts of things. Let me boil it down to you. For you. When you've been as dead as long as I have, without arms, legs, or anything else, you spend a lot of time thinking, you know? I figure it's been a few hundred years since I got penned in the dead book, but time doesn't really tally up the way it used to. Without that mortality thing pressing down on you, all the days and nights kind of blend together. So you think about this, and you think about that, and the most important piece of wisdom I've learned over the past 102 years is this. There's a lot more obscene gestures you can make with your eyes and your jaw than most people think. Amazing that hundreds of years on this earth, and that is the one big old thing you've learned. Although I do suppose, thinking realistically, after hundreds of years as a disembodied head, there's only so much you can do. I feel like you kind of have to make your own joy at that point. And I think you are just naturally going to lose a lot about what you were before, especially hundreds of years. Like, how can you even remember who you were previously? It's kind of, in a way, a little similar to our own situation, and I do think that is kind of interesting. Except, well, maybe I could learn from Mort, and I am not just talking about the obscene gestures, although I am talking about the obscene gestures. Without even resorting to insult or taunting, you can really light a bonfire under someone with just the right combination of eye movements and jaw clicking. Drives them barmy. If you ever get beheaded and your skin flayed from your skull, I'll show you how it's done. I've got real gems, Chief. They'd drive a diva to murder, they would. I know what you're thinking. I'm dead. I've lost so much. It should have sobered me up to all that joy I missed, all those loves I've lost. Some people get all depressed about death. They haven't tried it, of course, but one thing they never seem to realize is how it changes your perspective on things. It really makes you take a second look at life, broaden your horizons. For me, it's pretty much made me realize how many dead chits there are in this burg, and now a few sharp-tongued men like myself there are to go around. You spin the wheel right, and your years of spending nights alone are over. So interesting. It is very similar that, like, kind of like what I was just saying. Like, hey, yeah, some people are all gonna, weep at the fact that they're dead. They've lost so much in life. They haven't got a chance to do this or that. But after hundreds and hundreds of years, whatever. You're dead. What can you do? And you've been around the block more than a couple times. I imagine you get pretty desensitized to what most people might worry about when they first die. Shallow? I'm not shallow. I just don't get caught up in all that philosophy and faith and belief wash that every Burke from Arborea to the Grey Waste rattle their jaws about. Who cares? The planes are what they are. You're what they are. If it changes, fine. But things aren't bad the way they are. And I should know. Go on. Ask me some questions about the planes or the chant or the people or the cultures. When you end up like me, without eyelids that is, you end up seeing a lot of things. And I can tell you almost everything you need to know. It's like this. We're in this together, Chief. Until this is over, I stick like your leg. That is really interesting. I didn't really consider that perspective until now of a dead being that has been around for so long that they basically said, hey, listen, I've seen just about everything there is to see. Things don't necessarily change all that much. And if it does, whatever. Things aren't always as bad as people make it out to be. And I do think that it is an incredibly interesting perspective to have. Doing okay, buddy? Aw, he breaks into a slight smile. Hey, I think I made him feel a little bit better, oddly enough, by showing him that, hey, maybe just sitting here waiting for death isn't all that it's cracked up to be. And isn't that nice? How you doing, buddy? You see a spindle-thin dustman in dirty black robes. His stiff black hair springs forth from his skull like a crown of spikes, and his leper-white skin is drawn sharply across his skull. He is frowning into his drink and mumbling to himself. Greetings. The dustman looks up, blinks once, then looks you up and down, studying you. As he studies you, he takes one of the spiked locks and points to himself about it. It's interesting. I'm not fully quite registering that he takes... Okay, so I thought he physically took his lock out of his hair, or out of his head. No, I think he's just being a little strange. No, initiate, dustman, guard. Okay, I'm here about the posting outside. The dustman looks you up and down. Many troubles have I. Help can you? A mausoleum awakes, the dead walk, the dead disturbed, the dustman disturbed. Find out what disturbs the undead, and copper coins will I pay. We're not talking about the mortuary, are we? Because I'll give you one guess as to what disturbed all the people in there. Where is this mausoleum? And please don't say it's right to the east.
My journal.
Mausoleum by Dustman Memorial. Go north and west from Black Monument. Go to arch and a semicircle over your heart with this finger this make. He wiggles the index finger on his right hand. To the mausoleum go you will. Okay, so that seems to me that it is a key, that the mausoleum isn't literally by the memorial, but it is a portal to the mausoleum that we have just been given the key to, a movement with our fingers. Interesting. Mausoleum enters from north and west. Find it and solve it. Let him know. Okay. All right, old Copper Eyes. What's your deal? Before you is a tall, silent figure. He could easily pass for a statue, although the deep furrows in his face and brow make you wonder if the sculptor was a little too eager in defining the face with a chisel. He looks well over 50 years old, but exactly how much over 50, it's hard to tell. As he slowly turns to look at you, you catch the dull sheen of copper in his eyes. And I hope they don't mean that literally. He stares at you. His eyes are difficult to make out past the black well of his eye sockets, but they do look like they have a coppery sheen about them. I have some questions. He says nothing. All right, I'll take the hint. Interesting. So this very much is a Dustman bar. All right, so I don't know how well we can get across talking to any of these people. Yeah, it seems like it's going to be very similar. What is it, Mort? All right. Did you see the way that cadaverous beauty was staring at me? Mort's teeth chatter as if his anticipation. She was staring for some lucky cutter to thaw her coffin. You gotta stop. Please don't start this again. Mort ignores you and becomes thoughtful. I don't really mind the attention, actually. It's just that I like to be seen as something more than just a skull, you know? I have feelings that go beyond my base animal instincts. I want courtship, not some fortnight fling around the mausoleum. Mort, you are a skull. Nobody can help but see you as a skull. Accept it. Yeah, well, I may just be a skull, but I've got a big heart. Actually, you don't have one of those. What, were you dumped into my life to spit on my dreams and aspirations? Fine, be that way then. I don't have a heart, but I do have a soul. Well, actually, I'm betting you... forget it. Let's go. The dichotomy of having a conversation about death and what it means to be dead, and then talking to a disembodied head that's trying to get with a zombie. You know, just Planescape Torment things. Let's talk to you. As you approach, the elderly woman turns and stares at you. La, who's come a-calling on Sarah today, Death's dearest son? She looks you up and down, then shakes her head in disbelief. By every power and its mother, boy, what crypt did you crawl out of? I'm fresh from the mortuary, actually. That's so. Sarah raises an eyebrow. Warms my ears to hear you gave that place the laugh, boy. Not much of a watering hole for one who isn't relieving themselves. She sniffs. Too many cobwebs and dusty minds. Aren't you a dustman? Isn't that kind of your place to be? A dustman? I suppose, she sniffs. I've seen enough sand pass through the hourglass for wearing these robes. This body's almost ready to pay the ferryman. She chuckles, but there's not much mirth in it. Are you afraid of dying? Course I am, boy. Who isn't? She frowns and glances around. Well, except dustmen. They're not afraid because they've been swallowing so much of their own bat droppings over the decades, they've blinded themselves into thinking that death is some sort of release. Shh. You don't sound much like a dustman. She shrugs. I guess the dustman robes don't fit me as well as they used to. So what sparked this crisis of faith? She shrugs. Life, I suppose. She frowns. Never you mind. I won't bore you with the niggling details. Well, actually, I'd like to know. Oh, would you? She looks at you skeptically. How old do you take me for, boy? Let's be honest. You look old. She snorts. Well, you're wrong. I'm really old. Now, I've spent most of my long years teaching dustmen. I've seen many dustmen whelps grow within our order, taught them the ways of the faction, kept the faith, preached the tenets of the faction. She frowns. And so on, and so on. No questions, no doubt. This life was merely an antechamber that led to the true death. What happened? Well, a half-month back, I went sick with the fever. She sighs. I thought it was the end. It, rattled my cage. How? Her face becomes as stone. There's something about having your faction members circle around your deathbed like a pack of pale-faced ghouls, nodding and agreeing that your suffering and dying is all for the best. Oh, Sarah is so fortunate. She shall soon be relieved of the burden of life. Burden of life? That's when it struck me. That there's something. A queer expression comes over her features. Addled but not appreciating your life. The dustman keeps saying that life is misery and suffering. Is it? That we should be happy to pass on into oblivion? Should we? She shakes her head. Questions, and precious few answers. Doesn't sound like you believe in the dustman philosophy anymore. I suppose I have got a swarm of doubts all buzzing in my skull. She rubs her temples. Hard to get them all to be quiet sometimes. They need to be fed some answers, and I haven't got them all worked out yet. What will you do? To be square, boy, I don't know. Sarah sighs. That's the problem with doubt. I can't even trust that what I'm feeling is true. Or if I'm scared of death only because of my brush with the fever, or even what I should do. Is this a passing thing? I don't know. So we have the opportunity to both affirm or doubt what she is feeling. And I do think it's interesting, the idea of this is essentially a death cult. The whole purpose of life for these people is to pass on and remove yourself from worldly possessions, from the misery that is life. God, things are so awful and boring and terrible. But after somebody almost went through that experience, she started to say, hey, wait a minute. Why do we think that this is so bad when death feels so painful? Why don't we start appreciating life? And honestly, I think that that is something worth exploring, and I think that maybe we don't delve into the hive mind, no pun intended, that is the dustman philosophy. I think if you really believed in it, the fever wouldn't have left you with the doubts. Sarah stares at you, then nods slowly. Maybe so. Maybe so. She frowns, her face wrinkling up in concentration. I'll have to chew it over some more. That you should. Ah, now. Enough of me rattling on about my woes. She stares at your scars. You look like you've shared a few handshakes with death yourself. Hasn't that changed your views somewhat? Doesn't it make you appreciate life a bit more? Honestly, I think thinking realistically, let's say I'm in this position where I have immortality. I can do whatever I want with my life, no matter what happens, no matter what risks I can take. I can die and just come back later. I can go do all these reckless things. I can put myself in harm's way. I can commit crimes that are punishable by death, but it would not matter because I would come back to life. I feel like, honestly, that probably will desensitize you to death entirely. So does it make you appreciate life a little bit more? Not really. Well, that's a shame, boy. Sear harumphs. If a death's head grin isn't enough to make you want to hold on to life, there's probably not a force on the plains that can make you see sense. I do think it's interesting that we are basically saying, hey, why don't you think about the how beautiful, maybe not beautiful, but how life is interesting and how you should start living. But we may not necessarily believe that ourselves. And interesting that this is exactly what I just said and why I chose that answer. And the game immediately picked up on, hey, well, my brushes with death are a lot more common. I can't seem to die, and it kind of deadens you to death. And I love that. It tapped exactly into my way of thinking. Sarah blinks. You're rattling my coffin. Though, in fairness, I'm not sure that we should be spreading this around, that we can die repeatedly. I feel like sticking our neck on the line, no pun intended, with the other guy was one thing, but I feel like we should start dialing it back a little bit. I'm just joking. She frowns. I'd watch that wit of yours. It's sharp enough to kill you. She turns away, makes a dismissive gesture with her hand. Leave me be. God, what an interesting conversation. Okay, yeah, I did not expect to walk into this bar and just immediately talk with all these people about the meaning of life, the meaning of death, which I guess I should have expected given this bar is populated primarily of these dustmen who think about it all day and night. But let's talk to Mortai Gravesend, who seems to be beckoning us over. This tiny, wizened man is dwarfed by his huge dustman robes. They look as if they were chosen to cloak his small stature. Although he looks to be in his late 90s, the man is extremely energetic. He fidgets continuously, and his eyes dart around the bar like a bird's. Greetings. The man's eyes gleam as he takes your measure, and he gives a slight nod in greeting. Hail and well met, traveler. You look like one who is just getting their sigil legs about them. He trails off. Pardon me, have we met before? Your face seems familiar somehow. No. At least I don't recall you. Maybe I was mistaken. Mordai shakes his head. Well, no matter. How is it that Mortai Gravesend may help you? Do you seek... He clucks his tongue as he speaks. The contract, perhaps? Okay, well, first of all, you called me over here. Second of all, I know of only one contract that has been mentioned so far in this game, and it is a dead contract, which I know, speaking from people in the mortuary, binds your soul for life and makes you a dead worker, so that when you die, you are going to go into that mortuary and you are going to essentially sell your body and soul away forever. And I don't know if I am for that. Then again, I can't technically die, so... The contract? Why, it is but a simple transaction. From the depths of his huge robe, Mortai pulls forth a dusty parchment and a quill pen. I give you 50 commons. In return, after death, the Dustman faction may claim your remains. He smiles, then clucks his tongue. What use will you have for them at that point anyway? First of all, I guess I should say, second of all, I have 107 just from poking around places. 50 commons for my body? You're out of your mind. But, okay, I'll indulge you. What do you do with the body? Mordai holds up his hands as if he doesn't know. What does it matter? It's of no consequence when you pass on. It sure as hell matters to me. Well, if you must know, oft-times nothing is done with the body. And it is we, the dustmen, who have wasted all that money. More fools us. Mortai gives a light smile that looks apologetic. But rarely, there are times when the workers in the mortuary need to be replaced, and then we may have a need for your body. You mean I'll be animated as a corpse and put to work in the mortuary? That doesn't sound good. But no harm is done, no pain. Mortai raises a finger as if to emphasize the point. And there is no danger. In exchange for money you can spend in this life, you merely have to give us something you will have no need of anyway once you have died. Mortai taps his chest. I signed the contract myself, if you must know. I shall have no need of my body when I pass on. Yeah, well, listen, you don't believe there's meaning to life at all. You and your weird cult. So I'll consider it. Yeah, sure, whatever. Go ahead. Yeah. Tell me about some of the patrons here. Of course. Which of the patrons are you wish to know about? What about awaiting death? A troubled initiate. Mortai clicks his tongue disapprovingly. He seeks death with a passion that is most inappropriate for a dustman. Are they not allowed to have passion? Or feel passion? Oh my, yes. Mortai frowns. Too much passion, too much emotion prevents one from reaching the true death. To be passionate runs contrary to the philosophy of our faction. Not only is this life meaningless, but you literally, if you have too much emotion, it is frowned upon. And that is, honestly, a terrible way to live. The true death is the state of peaceful oblivion all dustmen aspire to, and help all others reach, he clucks disapprovingly. Anything that ties a soul to this life is shunned by our faction, whether these ties are possessions or emotions. You see, passions act as an anchor on the soul, preventing it from reaching the true death. Very bad, yeah. Not only material possessions, but also emotions, and frankly, I just think it's terrible. Another troubled initiate. I heard she contracted a sickness not long ago, and it changed her. Now she seems bitter and angry, and she does not speak the dustman beliefs with the conviction she once did. I fear that bitterness is a passion that could jeopardize her position within the faction. Okay, that's great. What about old Copper Eyes? His eyes go cold. The one with eyes of copper? His eyes speak enough about his purpose here. He makes a semicircle over his heart. A member of the Dustmen he may be, but I would never sign a dead contract with him. Copper is his soul, and to me, that speaks of an excess of passion for money. He is a Dustman in name only. I'm concerned then if his eyes are actually made of copper. Yes, but it is much better that you side with me rather than that greedy monster. Greed is the passion that kills, you know. And to a Dustman, it is twice as deadly. Do not trouble yourself speaking to Copper Eyes, good sir. Deal with me instead. Seen a journal recently? I know nothing about a journal. I deal with documentation of a much different sort. Yeah, great, cool, awesome. What about Farron? He's one of those collectors, isn't he? I know little of him. I think Initiate Emmerich mentioned him in passing. Emmerich should be around here in the bar somewhere. He can usually be found in the far corner at the head table, I believe. That's all I wish to know. Farewell. He nods as you turn to leave. He has a strange expression on his face. Is there something wrong? Mortai frowns. Forgive me, I must ask again. Are you sure we haven't met before? It's... Not only have we met, but we have made some kind of impression on him, and frankly, I'm at the point where any information I can get about my past life, or should I say one of my past lives, I do want to get, because being in the dark, I feel like our first and foremost, our mission, going off of our tattoos, is to get information about ourselves. So let's just say, you know what, maybe we have, but I don't recall. Mortai shakes his head. Well, no matter. Farewell. Yes, farewell, farewell. Mortai studies you as you leave, and you hear him mutter under his breath. Something about that one. Yeah, I feel like any kind of impression that we've made upon most of these people are probably pretty negative. At least that's the inclination that I get so far from Dianara and this guy. Just, I don't know. I feel like... And then there's this other random passerby in the street that we were running after somebody, presumably with a dagger that we dropped. Listen, I'm sure we're not that great of a person, but on the other hand, I'm a little concerned. I do think we're going to go ahead and end it there. We'll talk to Initiate Emmerich next time, but I think it's really fascinating that we've been having all these conversations with different people with different views. One person who has been thinking about death, wanting nothing but it because life is miserable, and then we basically say, hey, listen, death isn't all it's cracked up to be. You don't know what's going to happen to you. Just cherish life while you have. And then we speak to another woman who basically says, yeah, I was close to death myself, and I want to enjoy the life that I have because I don't know what's coming after. And we basically admit that, listen, you run into as many close brushes with death as we have, and it kind of just desensitizes you to it all. And I do feel we're similar to Mort in that manner, and yeah, I think it's interesting. I think it's a really interesting thought that we're going to have, and I feel like we're going to be thinking about it a lot more as the game progresses. But we are going to save that for next time. So once again, thank you for joining us, for watching as we progress through Planescape Torment. I am loving this game so far, and I cannot wait to play more. Thanks once again, and I hope you tune in next time. Take care.